This is lesson 5 of Unit 2 on quadratic relations. So up until this point, we've looked at parabolas generally. We've talked about the parameter a and how that affects our base parabola. And we've also talked about how the parameter h has affected our parabola. So this note is going to be on the parameter k. And again, k is just a variable, right? It's just basically a placeholder for a number. So in this first investigation, we're going to look at graphing y equals x squared plus k when k is negative. So just like the last couple of notes that we've done, we're going to complete these tables and then sketch the graph on the set of axes. So again, remember to figure out your y coordinate, it's just a matter of substitution. So we're just replacing x with whatever value of x it tells us in that left-hand column. So here we have negative 4 squared, which is 16, plus 2, which gives us, 18. Okay, next we have negative 3 squared, which is 9, plus 2 is 11. Negative 2 squared is 4, plus 2 is 6. Negative 1 squared is 1, plus 2 is 3. 0 squared is 0, plus 2 is 2. 1 squared is 1, plus 2 is 3. 2 squared is 4, plus 2 is 6. Again, 3 squared is 9, plus 2 is 11. And 4 squared is 16, plus 2 is 18. Okay, so now we have all the coordinate points that we need to plot this parabola, so we're going to do exactly that. So remember, again, the coordinates are x comma y, right? And our x-axis is this one, and our y-axis is labeled there already for us. It's that vertical line up and down. So negative 4, 18, again, we can't graph that point because our scale only goes to 16, but that's fine. We'll just start with negative 3, 11. So negative 3, 11 will be about there. Negative 2, 6. Negative 1, 3. 0, 2. And then again, you don't really have to look at the points. You just need to make sure that your graph is symmetrical. So again, once we have those points, we're going to try our best to make a parabola shape. There we go, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so we can tell, again, remembering that that base graph is there to show you how the transformation, or how the new graph with the transformation is affected. All right, so let's do the same thing before we kind of analyze the graphs. This time we have x squared plus 4. So instead of adding 2, we're adding 4. So again, to come up with these points, you're just taking those x values, plugging them in to get your y. So, oops, maybe I don't want to do yellow. It's kind of hard to see. Let's do just black. So negative 4 squared plus 4 will give us 20. Negative 3 squared plus 4 is 13. Negative 2, 8. Negative 1, 5. And again, I'm just kind of writing these out at this point because this is like it seems like 10th time that we've filled in one of these charts, probably more. But again, I'm just subbing that number into my equation. So I do 3 squared is 9, plus 4 is 13, 4 squared is 16, plus 4 is 20. And that's how I'm getting those y coordinates. Okay, so once I have those, again, I'm going to plot them on my graph. So I can't plot the negative 4 again, but I'll start with the negative 3. So this one is negative 3, 13. So here, 11, 12, whoops, no. Which one of these is 10? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so it's there. There we go. -2, 6. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. -2, 8, rather. Okay, which will be there. -1, 5, 0, 4, and again, making that symmetrical on the other side. Okay, and then connecting your dots as best as you can. Trying to get that line to go through them all. And our line will look something like that. Just want to fix this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now let's look at those two graphs. So remember, we're working with that base one that was already given to us. We have transformations. In this case, we're looking at K. And now we just need to figure out what is going on when we add that K value. So how do these graphs differ from that standard graph? So again, these graphs have that same shape, right? They look the same. So they have the same shape. But that whole graph is shifted up, right? So how we're going to write that, remember the lowest point on this graph is the vertex. So we're going to say that the vertex is shifted up. The vertex is shifted up. Okay, and we can see that. So from the base graph, our blue parabola here, the vertex that was 0, 0 is now 0, 2, right? And the black graph that, again, the original is 0, 0 for the vertex, is now 0, 4. Okay, so we can see that those vertexes have been shifted up. Okay, so just like before, now we're going to look what happens when K is negative. Okay, so same thing, we're filling in the charts the exact same way as we did before. We're simply plugging in these X values to figure out what the Y will be. So we have -4 squared, which is again 16, minus 3 is 13. -3 squared is 9, minus 3 is 6. -2 squared is 4, minus 3 is 1. -1 squared is 1, minus 3 is -2. 0 squared is 0, minus 3 is -3. 1 squared is 1, minus 3 is -2. 2 squared is 4, minus 3 is 1. 3 squared is 9, minus 3 is 6. And 4 squared is 16, minus 3 is 13. Okay, so again, we have those points. So we're going to go over to our graph here, or our axes rather, and graph these points. So again, we'll only be able to graph the points that can fit on this axis. So the 4s we won't be able to do, but we can start with -3, 6. So -1, 2, 3, up to 6, -2, +1, -1, -2, 0, -3, and again, you can look at those points, or you can just make sure that your parabola is symmetrical. Okay, again, connecting those dots. Whoops. So our new graph would look something like this. Okay, and again, you can probably already assume what the K value is going to do here, but bear with me. We will work through this last example so that we can kind of analyze that looking at more than one thing. So again, taking those X's, plugging them in to get your Y's. I'm just going to write out the coordinates here. Again, you should know at this point how I'm getting them. The X is just what it tells me it is, and the Y is what happens when I plug that X value in. 0, -5. And 4, 11. Okay, so again, once I have the points, it's just a matter of graphing them. We can't graph the 4s again, so we'll start with -3. So -3, +4, -2, -1, -1, -4, 0, -5, 1, -4, 2, -1, and 3, 4. Okay, again, connecting those so they make that U shape. Okay, so again, just like before, we're going to observe these two graphs and figure out why we think they differ or how they do differ. So for these ones, we can see again that shape is the same, right? So it has the same shape. And again, remember we're talking about the vertex here, just like we did before, where the vertex is shifted up. We can see now that the vertex is shifted down. So that pink graph, we can see that the vertex is now 0, -3, and the orange graph is 0, -5. So we're going to say same shape, vertex is shifted down. Okay, so let's summarize how K affects our base graph there. So what K does is it determines the vertical shift of the parabola. Okay, so vertical again means we're moving up and down. Okay, so if K is positive, we're shifting up. If K is negative, we're shifting down. So this one is pretty simple, right? We're either moving up or down depending on whether our number is positive or negative.